Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 3, which is entitled as Karma Yoga, Sloka 1 and 2. Arjuna uvāca jyāyasī chit karmaṇas te matā buddhir Janārdana tat kim karmaṇi ghore māṁ niyojayasi Keśava vyāmiśreṇeva vākyena buddhiṁ mohayasīva me ekaṁ vada niścitya yena śreyo āpnuyām. Krishna explained in the second chapter various things. In this third chapter, Arjuna is little bewildered, confused. He felt that Krishna is not giving a clear direction. Hence these two slokas, Arjuna speaks, asking clarity from Krishna. Krishna, if you think greater than karma yoga is jnana yoga, which is what my understanding is from what you said so far, then why do you engage me in this ghastly warfare? Your words are quite concerning me, disturbing me. He told the sthita prajna is the one who can control the senses and mind and will be able to fix his mind in self, atma. That person will be able to see the atma. That happens when that person gives up all his duties, karmas. If you want me to become like that, to be a self-realized person, then I should retire from all the duties and fully focus on self, so I can be a sthita prajna. You should be encouraging me to fight, not fight. So, either you tell me what I'm supposed to do. So far you said about karma yoga and then jnana yoga. You said jnana yoga is greater, by which one can attain the self, become self-realized. You should tell me what is beneficial for me, what is easy for me. So these are the things that's been asked by Arjuna to Krishna in these two slokas. Krishna is so merciful. Here he confirms that one can attain self-realization by doing karma yoga. In this particular chapter that we are going to see, entitled as Karma Yoga, Krishna is going to take a different route from what he spoke before in the second chapter. Doesn't mean that the second chapter has no value, but then the more compassionate Lord Krishna, he understands that everyone won't be able to perform jnana yoga. Therefore, majority of them will be those people who cannot perform jnana yoga. What about them? So Krishna is telling in this particular chapter, just by performing their duty, karma yoga, as prescribed by Krishna, one can still attain the same result of what a jnana yogi will attain. The Lord is faultless, with all the great wonderful qualities in full. The goal of every living entity should be to attain that Supreme Lord. So those who are interested and serious to attain moksha or attain the Lord has to worship Krishna. This is what is being explained thoroughly in all the Vedic literatures. And also the means to attain the Lord is also being explained. And that mean, the only mean is through bhakti. But for one to perform bhakti, one has to understand Atma. Not only understanding Atma, one has to become self-realized soul. And then develop bhakti, which then will lead one to Paramatma realization. For one to attain self-realization, one has to perform Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means renunciation, giving up all the duties, constantly and continuously thinking and meditating upon one's Atma. That means, to get to that point, one has to have knowledge of the Atma first. That the soul is different from the body, soul is full of knowledge, is blissful, eternal, that it never perishes. In this way, one has to constantly meditate upon the Atma, fixing their mind. But for this to happen, one has to, first of all, be able to come and sit in one place for a longer period of time. How many of us can sit even in a place for a few minutes in one pose? Whenever we sit, that's when we start moving our bodies, scratching our head, looking over phones, checking our mails. On top of all this thing, our previous impression comes, and the senses and mind pulls us in a different direction. Therefore, before one gets into this program of meditation on the Lord, one has to get rid of the sin and wipe off all the previous impression. Cultivate sattva guna. By that the rajoguna and tamoguna vanishes. Finally, one will be able to focus on the self without any distraction. Throughout all the Vedic literatures, the main subject matter that's been discussed is the same, what we just saw now. But how much time do we have that we can read the Vedic literature? Therefore, the most compassionate Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, keeping Arjuna as an instrument, has given us this Upadesh, wonderful literature, Gita, to all of us. So everyone can benefit and attain the Lord. Arjuna, who has decided not to fight, now has to be changed by Krishna, has to be educated what is the right thing for him to do, what his duties are. So he has to understand he is not actually killing. Atma is eternal. By one's own karma, one gets certain type of body, certain type of happiness and miseries. When the karma is finished, then Atma will attain its own natural state. For one to attain that natural state, Atma, to see the Atma, one has to do their karma without any attachment, not expecting anything in return, but just do as a duty. By doing the karma, the action in this way, one has to consciously be aware of the self as well, that one is Atma, by training the mind. Because just doing the karma without proper consciousness or knowledge about Atma will not yield a favorable result. That is Atma Darshana. It is just by proper consciousness one will get to see the Atma, not otherwise. And one who is fully fixed in the Atma is called Sthita Prajna. And this has all been explained so far in the previous chapters. When Arjuna heard these, especially the last few sets of slokas from chapter 2, got bewildered, confused, and came to an uncertain state of mind, not knowing what to do. Even he was going to extreme of thinking, conclusion is self-realization, and that can be achieved by being a Sthita Prajna, leading on to Jnana Yoga. Then better to start from there rather than getting engaged into the fighting activity, which will entangle me further. So why are you, Krishna, asking me to engage in this fight? If you feel renunciation is greater than karma, then you should ask me to renounce things and just focus on Atma, which is what the ultimate goal is. Because if I start fighting, my senses are going to be out of control. My mind will be totally branched out, will be influenced by impressions, previous impressions. I get angry, greedy, expecting result, and create more karma and take more birth again. And where am I going to focus on Atma then? In fact, this will become an hindrance to the whole process of self-realization. Therefore, should I do my karma or give up the karma? Should I take up renunciation, Jnana Yoga, if you feel that is greater than Karma Yoga? Please tell me, rather than putting me into a confused state. Tell me one thing which is easy and beneficial for me. Do not deceive me with these sort of options. Jyāyasī chit karmaṇas matā buddhir Janārdana tat kim karmaṇi ghore māṁ niyojayasi Keśava vyāmiśreṇeva vākyena buddhiṁ mohayasīva me ekaṁ vada niścitya yena śreyo āpnuyām. Namaste. Hare Krishna.